Hi, welcome to this edition of Leadership Lessons. I'm Andy Ortiz, President and CEO of Ortiz Leadership Systems in Tempe, Arizona. And in this video, I kind of want to do a little bit of an introduction and let you know a little bit more about me and how I came into this whole leadership thing. I actually am born and bred here in Arizona. Grew up here in Tempe, Arizona, and went to elementary school here in Tempe, all the way to Tempe High School, and then to Arizona State University, where I achieved 3 degrees, undergraduate degree in political science, a bachelor's degree, and went to law school at Arizona State University College of Law to achieve my Juris Doctorate, and also a master's in public administration. And throughout my educational career, whether it was high school at Tempe High or whether it was college at ASU, one of the things that I was always involved with was leadership activities. I was president of my class at Tempe High School. I was student body president at Arizona State University when I was working on my 2 graduate degrees and getting ready to get married. So it was a busy time in my life. But leadership has always been very important to me. I've always wanted to be in the thick of things. I've always wanted to be active and giving back to my community, whether it was my school community or my community at large. And so when I talk a little bit about leadership, it's something that's very personal to me. And when I was married to my wife in 1997, I got to tell you this story because I think it's relevant to where I'm at with Ortiz Leadership Systems and the work that I'm doing today. In March of 1993, I was attending a political symposium in Washington, D.C. with the Center for the Study of the Presidency. And the center had been founded by President Dwight D. Eisenhower after he left the White House. And it's the only institution of its kind dedicated to the study of the American presidency. And I was serving as a national fellow with the center that year. And as luck would have it, or as fate would have it, I met a young lady from Oklahoma at that political symposium. Her name was Deborah. Deborah Meek was her maiden name at the time, now my wife, Deborah Ortiz. But this symposium, it was over 700 people at this conference at the Hyatt Regency on Capitol Hill. And we were always at the same place at the same time. And I was wondering, like, who's stalking whom, right? Am I stalking her or is she stalking me? But we were always at the same place at the same time. And there was one evening that I was recognized for my work on community service in Arizona. I was recognized at a dinner by Eli Siegel, who at the time was the director of the White House Office for National Service. And at that dinner, he mentioned some of the work that I was doing mentoring youth here in the state of Arizona. And after the dinner was over, there was a young lady, Deborah. She came to the dais to interview me. She was representing her university, the University of Central Oklahoma in Edmond, Oklahoma. And so we actually have our first conversation ever on audio tape. How about that, right? So we go back to that, and we always think that that's something that's really special, that we have our first conversation on tape. But little did I know that that young lady from Oklahoma would eventually become my wife and now my business partner with Ortiz Leadership System. The thing that brought us together was that we were both very passionate about achievement, both very passionate about leadership. And so now I've had the opportunity to work in leadership with a host of different sectors. I've been a nonprofit executive. I've actually worked with professional and trade associations as an executive. I've worked in higher education as a professor and working with the Center for Nonprofit Leadership and Management at Arizona State University. And now I'm an entrepreneur. I've been a lobbyist for the American Heart Association, American Cancer Society. So I've seen leadership from a lot of different vantage points, and I think a lot of that really has helped me in building my brand as a leadership coach, leadership trainer, and as a keynote speaker on topics of leadership and personal development. And the thing is, I try to bring all of these lessons to bear in the work that I do. And I hope that I'm able to share them with my clients and make a difference in their lives. I think I have over the last 25 plus years that I've been doing this. And my wife is my business partner. She's my vice president with Ortiz Leadership Systems. And her story, which I'll have her tell at some point in time, is equally as compelling, if not more compelling than my own. But we're a great team, and I enjoy working with her. And I just want to tell you this. Leadership is something that I want to bring to everybody's life because I know it is part and parcel of what we do in our lives, whether it's in our families, whether it's in our workplaces. whether it's our own careers or things that we're trying to achieve. Leadership is relevant to all of us. And service has always been important to me too. That's the other common denominator for me with this work that I do, is that I feel like service, the service that I've rendered to my community when I was mentoring young people, when I was working in the nonprofit sector, giving back and helping people has always been something that I've really held dear to me. And it's brought me to some incredible heights in my life. I've been able to meet governors. I've been able to meet senators, presidents of the United States, multiple presidents, members of foreign royalty. I've been able to achieve some awards, like the Ellis Island Medal of Honor most recently, where I went to New York's Ellis Island, saw right at the base of the Statue of Liberty, and it was recognizing work that I was doing in the Hispanic community here in Arizona. So I truly believe that giving is important. If you want to get, you got to give. And there's a saying that I want to close this video with. Winston Churchill once said that we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And I think there's no better way of practicing servant leadership than holding that ethic in mind. So as we close this video, I want to remind you that we're here to work with you in expanding your leadership with Ortiz Leadership Systems. You can reach us by phone at 480-688-9292, or you can reach us on the web at www.ortizleadership.com. And as always, remember, lead with purpose.